The movie opens with a middle-aged woman named Kate, who owns a ranch in a remote county. It turns out Kate lost her wife, Patty, some time ago, and she's still deep in grief, making each day a quiet battle. Her routine involves tending to her horses, doing chores, and listening to old voicemails from Patty, which is the only thing holding her together. One day, Kate summons a contractor, who inspects the broken roof of her ranch. He reveals it will cost around $9,000 to replace, which worries Kate, as she doesn't have that kind of money. Kate thus heads to the city to meet her ex-husband, Richard, who is a prominent lawyer. Upon her arrival, she meets Richard's young wife and little daughter and exchanges an awkward greeting. Next, Kate goes to Richard's office and requests the money to fix the ranch. The old man is irritated by her request and argues that he can't keep pouring money into a failing business. Regardless, he hands her a check, and they also talk about their daughter, Claire. Richard reveals that Claire arrived a few days ago and pounded on his door while demanding money, but he refused. He blames Kate for spoiling their daughter and always giving in to her demands. Afterward, we see Kate working on the ranch when, suddenly, her dog, Coop, starts barking. It turns out Claire has come home, and Kate is overjoyed to see her daughter. After a brief chat, Claire asks for her mom's iPad to check her messages, since her boyfriend, Ryan, threw her phone into the ocean. She adds that before storming off, she grabbed his duffel bag and tossed it off a bridge for revenge. Claire then checks her messages and discovers several frantic texts from Ryan, which she finds satisfying. That night, while the mother and daughter are reminiscing about the old days, Ryan suddenly shows up outside. He's bruised and frantically demands to know where Claire hid his bag. It turns out the bag had half a kilo of drugs in it, and his boss, Jackie, is now threatening to kill him. Ryan also admits he already told Jackie that Claire was the one who took it, which worries her. Worried, Kate arrives and asks what's going on, but Claire says nothing and storms off with her boyfriend. Around midnight, Kate suddenly wakes up to some noises and finds out Claire has returned home, but she's clearly under the influence of drugs. This worries Kate, so she gently takes care of her daughter and tucks her into bed. The next day, Claire is relaxing at home when Jackie shows up out of nowhere. She wonders how he found her, and it turns out he forced Ryan to bring him here. After briefly flirting with her, Jackie demands to know where his drugs are. Claire nervously admits she accidentally threw them away, which enrages the scary man. He beats her up, and when Ryan attempts to intervene, Jackie pokes his eye and brutally punches him as well. Upon seeing this, Coop starts barking wildly, prompting Kate to rush in to see what's going on. She immediately shields her daughter from Jackie, who then introduces himself as Claire's close friend. He explains that she has put him in a dangerous spot with his suppliers by stealing the drugs. Before leaving, Jackie makes it clear that Claire has two options: either return his drugs, or pay him the money. Later, Kate demands to know what the hell is going on, so Claire finally reveals that the bag she threw away had Jackie's drugs inside, which she was unaware of. A panicked Kate worries that Jackie might come back, but Claire assures her that he won't. That evening, when Kate returns home from the store, she's shocked to see Ryan and Claire together. She furiously storms inside, while Claire follows her, apologizing for everything that happened. She then reveals that she and Ryan are going camping for a few days and asks for some money for food. However, Kate refuses to give it this time, knowing she'll just spend it on drugs. The argument quickly escalates, and Kate locks herself in a room while Claire begins pounding on the door. When Kate still doesn't open the door, Claire urges Ryan to grab Coop and put him in the car. She threatens her mom, saying she'll drive far away and leave Coop there so he won't be able to come back and starve to death. Upon hearing this, Kate immediately rushes outside and grabs her dog to protect him. An enraged Claire then begins physically attacking her mother, even though Ryan asks her to stop. But Kate still refuses to back down, until the two junkies finally leave. The next day, Kate spends some time with her close friend, Les. They talk about Patty's death, and Kate admits she wouldn't even get out of bed if it weren't for having to care for her horses. Les notices how much Kate is struggling on her own, so she offers to stay the night to give her company. They spend the evening drinking and dancing, finally bringing a rare moment of joy into Kate's life. But after Les leaves the next day, Kate becomes sad again and listens to Patty's voicemail. That afternoon, she gives a horse riding lesson to a local girl whose mother, Emma, criticizes her daughter's posture and yells harshly. That night, Kate is sleeping peacefully when, suddenly, Coop starts barking. It turns out Claire has returned home, and she looks shaken while covered in blood. Kate asks if she's hurt, but Claire shockingly reveals it's actually Ryan's blood. She claims they were arguing at the camp when she pushed him off a cliff, splitting his head open. Kate states it was an accident and says they need to call the cops, but Claire adds that before Ryan fell, she struck him with a rock because he was trying to attack her. Stunned, Kate asks where the body is. She then heads outside to Claire's car, where she finds a body wrapped in a sheet. The sight shakes her to the core, but she forces herself to stay composed and goes back inside. She asks Claire where they had been camping, and whether anyone saw them, but Claire reveals no one did since it was late at night. Kate then asks for Ryan's phone, which Claire places on the table. After this, Kate calmly tells her to go upstairs, take off her clothes, put them in a bag, and not come out until she returns. Later, we see Kate carefully placing the body into a small boat, then loading it onto her truck. After driving off, she soon pulls over in a secluded area and crushes Ryan's phone, before tossing it beside the road. Kate eventually arrives at a lake called Marsh Creek, drags the boat from the truck to the water's edge, and begins paddling. When she reaches the middle of the lake, she places a heavy object on the body, and dumps the body into the dark water, before silently heading back to her truck. Upon returning home, Kate thoroughly cleans the car, and burns her clothes along with Claire's. She reassures her daughter that she's taken care of everything. Kate also tells her that if the police come, they'll stick to the story that Ryan and Claire came home that night after camping. The two got into an argument, and then Ryan left the house, which Kate witnessed. It's important to mention that Ryan was at home, because Claire brought his phone there, and police will trace the record. Claire then wonders where the body is, to which her mother responds that she dumped it in Marsh Creek Lake. The next day, Claire returns home in a panic and reveals that Jackie confronted her in a store. She describes how he held her at gunpoint and threatened to kill her, while demanding to know about Ryan. Kate asks how much money Ryan owes him, so Claire reveals it's $10,000. With no other option, Kate pulls out the check Richard gave her, and decides to use it for the safety of her daughter. Sometime later, Jackie shows up at the ranch, and Kate hands him $10,000 in cash, which finally pleases him. He states that it must be awful to have a kid like Claire, and always have to clean up her shit. But Kate refuses to talk to him and simply tells him never to set foot on their property again. She then tells her daughter that Jackie won't bother them anymore. Strangely enough, not long after Kate pays Jackie his sum of money, Claire suddenly disappears. Kate desperately tries to contact her, leaving countless voicemails, but hears nothing back. She then recalls Claire once logging into her iPad and manages to track her down using Find My Phone. Sometime later, Kate arrives at the location and finds Claire in a dilapidated house, high on drugs, with a guy. This guy steps outside to throw the trash, and Kate is shocked to see that it's none other than the shitty boyfriend Ryan. He also spots her and rushes back inside, warning Claire that her mom is here. The two panic and flee through the back door before rushing to their car. Kate desperately asks her daughter whose body it was, but Ryan pushes her away, then speeds away and knocks her down in the process. Upon returning home, Kate logs into her daughter's account and reads her messages. Here, she discovers that Claire deliberately planned the whole scheme to clean up her mess, as she was confident that her mom would go to any lengths to protect her. That night, Kate is overwhelmed by the weight of her actions and calls Les to tell her everything. The next morning, a shocked Les shows up and persuades Kate to stay with her for a few days, assuring her that she's already arranged for some workers to look after the farm. That night, Kate stays at her friend's place, where Les and her partner try to cheer her up. After dinner, Kate checks her security camera and shockingly finds Jackie standing on her doorstep. She asks what he wants, and he demands that she come out. When she says that she's not home, he states he'll be back tomorrow, and also reveals that he knows about her dumping the body at the Marsh Creek Lake. This sends Kate into panic mode, and she immediately gets into her car to head back home. The next day, Jackie shows up at the house, and Kate demands to know who the dead guy was. Jackie reveals that to earn the drug money he owed, Ryan began selling fentanyl-laced drugs. Unfortunately, it caused a teen boy to overdose and die. A terrified Claire and Ryan then turned to Jackie for help, and he suggested deceiving Kate. Claire also agreed, as she knew how easily she could manipulate her mother into fixing her problems. Jackie then states that he plans to leave town and demands more money from Kate. She claims she doesn't have any, but he refuses to believe her and threatens to report the teenager's death anonymously to the police. A terrified Kate tries to escape, but Jackie quickly overpowers her and forcefully injects her with a drug, knocking her out cold. Sometime later, Jackie awakens up Kate and says he's confiscated her phone, computer, car keys, and house keys. He states that she isn't allowed to leave the house and gives her just 2 days to arrange the money. He also demands a place to stay, so Kate reluctantly leads him to an apartment above the barn, where Patty used to live before she and Kate started dating. That night, we see that Kate had hidden an iPad in her drawer, which Jackie fortunately didn't find. She sneaks the iPad to her room and reads several messages from Claire, who's apologizing for her actions. Claire has also revealed that the deceased teenager's name was Greg Kaminsky. The next day, Kate tells Jackie that her ranch is insured for $100,000, so she has decided to burn the place using a flare, but plans to make it look like an accident. Jackie isn't thrilled by the idea, as it could take weeks or even months to get the insurance money. But Kate says she can make him an employee at the farm, and send the money in installments, so it won't look suspicious. The evil guy asks how much her horses are insured for, and Kate hesitantly admits $25,000 each for 2 horses. Upon hearing this, the psychopath coldly suggests burning the horses too, if it means more money. At this moment, Kate's client Emma arrives, which annoys Jackie, as he'd cancelled all the horse riding lessons from her phone. Kate says she'll talk to Emma, but he refuses and heads outside to meet her. He introduces himself as the new farmhand, and Emma explains she's here to pick up her saddle pads. The guy offers to help, but she rudely refuses and tells him to get out of her space. Jackie then informs Kate he agrees with her plan, but she has to handle everything herself, because if things go sideways, he can't get involved. Afterward, Kate orders a truckload of hay to fully stock the barn. She then informs Jackie that she will start the fire tonight, between 2 and 3 a.m., knowing that by the time anyone notices it, it will already be too late. That night, Kate is feeding the poor horses when Jackie arrives and throws her some flares to light. She tells him he can leave now, but he insists on staying to make sure she actually goes through with the plan. With no other option, she reluctantly lights the flares, after which Jackie finally drives away. The terrified horses soon begin screaming, but Kate can only listen to their cries helplessly. After a while, the firefighters eventually arrive and put out the fire, but it's too late. The next morning, an officer speaks with Kate and informs her that the fire was set intentionally. He then asks if anyone lives in the apartment above the barn, to which Kate responds that her employee, Jackie, does. She claims his car was there when she went to bed at 10 p.m., but when she noticed the fire, he was gone, and she's been trying to reach him all morning. In a shocking twist, the officer reveals they found a badly burnt dead body in the apartment, and tells Kate she must come with them for interrogation.
We don't know. As you can imagine, it was very badly burned. I need you to come down to the station with me.
The scene then cuts to the station, where the officer informs Kate that they've managed to locate Jackie. He asks how the two met, and she explains that Jackie was a friend of her daughter's and needed a job, so she hired him to help with the stables. But the officer reveals that Jackie claims he never worked for her, and that he doesn't even know her. When asked if any of her clients have seen him, Kate recalls that Emma met him once. The officer then asks if she ever saw anyone spending time with Jackie or going into the apartment. Kate responds that she once met a boy named Greg Kaminsky, who had introduced himself to her, which somewhat surprises the officer. Next, the officer approaches Jackie and shows him a photo of Greg, whose identity matches the burned body. But Jackie denies knowing the boy and claims he never even lived at the farm. And so, the officer shows a bank statement proving Kate sent $2,500 to his account as salary, and even Emma confirms meeting him at the ranch. It is at this point that the movie takes us to another scene, showing how Kate carried out the entire plan to frame Jackie and finally get rid of him. It's revealed that on the day Kate stayed at Les's place, the two had gone to Marsh Creek Lake and retrieved the body, which they stored in a freezer. After starting the fire, Kate deliberately left the metallic wire from a flare behind to make it appear intentional. After Jackie drove away, she and Les removed the frozen body and placed it in the apartment above the barn. They then quickly released the terrified horses, after which the entire ranch caught fire, as well as Greg's corpse. In the present, Jackie tells the officer the full truth story and how Kate dumped the body at the lake to protect her junkie daughter. But the officer finds this story ridiculous and then presents CCTV footage showing Jackie buying flares at a nearby store. Here Jackie snaps and begins screaming and lashing out in frustration, prompting several officers to rush in and restrain the damn guy. Following this, Kate walks free, while Jackie is presumably set to stand trial for murder, arson, and other charges. Days later, Kate hires a crew to bulldoze and clear the rubble from the barn. She also finally manages to replace the roof, thanks to the insurance money. She then gets a message from the ungrateful Claire asking for forgiveness, but this time, Kate doesn't respond. She resumes her normal life, working at the barn, continuing horseback riding lessons, and listening to Patty's old voicemails. One night, Kate is seen sleeping peacefully when, suddenly, Coop begins barking. She wakes up and looks outside to find Claire once again standing there with tears in her eyes. But this time, Kate appears cold and far less excited, and this is where the movie ends. Thus, we reach the end of this movie. Thanks for watching. If you like the movie, support us. Don't forget to subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next movie. Goodbye.